So, a couple of days ago, the VTuber EggieWeggie's created or released this thing known as the Creator Hub, which, if you read the release statement on their Twitter, basically says that it allows creators to do things to help them creatively, such as turning thoughts into actual tasks, planning content, analyzing shorts, generating titles, building pitches, etc., etc., etc. And in all honesty, this seems very nice. I was planning to sign up and try it. Before I could, though, I did hear some interesting rumors that EggieWeggie's had used Claude in order to vibe code this website. Now, I'm going to say, first off, that I think vibe coding a website is worse, or vibe coding anything really, is worse than doing it yourself. Not because it's impossible, but because you end up spending more time chasing down all of the bugs and errors and vulnerabilities in the code than you would if you actually coded it from the ground up. I know because I have actually tried to do that myself. I tried to vibe code a personal app just for myself. The point is, there are allegations that they utilized an AI, Claude, to code the website. And they do admit to having used an AI to code the website, unfortunately, which, like I said, is much worse than doing it yourself from scratch, because you end up with so many more bugs that you have to chase down and fix than you would ever end up with if you did it from scratch. It generally takes longer to vibe code something that is secure than it is to properly code it from the ground up and have it be secure. At least right now, and I say that again as somebody who has experience trying to vibe code an app, so I know what I'm talking about because I have directly done it just to see what it was like. Now, this is the first thing I saw that sort of made me question the legitimacy and the security of this website. As you see here in this tweet that I have pulled up, they used Claude in order to reverse engineer vidIQ in order to make its paid tiers free to them so they could use it for this website. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't give a shit about the wallet of vidIQ at all. The prices for their services are massively overstated. They are like 5 times higher than they should be for their services. I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a shit about their wallets. What I do give a shit about is that Eggie has admitted that they were willing to utilize an AI to essentially violate another website's terms of service. Now, again, I don't give a shit about their wallets. If somebody wants to do what vidIQ does for free, go right ahead, because there's easy ways to do what vidIQ does for free just using the free tiers of AI like ChatGPT or Claude. You don't have to pay a penny to do what vidIQ gives you. So that was the first thing I saw that worried me. Why do I have a notification? Fuck off, Twitter. Oh great, Twitter's not loading now. What the f? Well, about 2 days after the launch, a couple of other VTubers, Tubi and Existential Bread. I really like that name, Existential Bread. That's kind of cool. I'm sorry about your existentialism, Existential Bread. I think I just fucked up the pronunciation of No, Sonny. Stop getting distracted. Stop being autistic for 15 minutes of your life. So they were basically called out for what amounted to 26 potential security vulnerabilities in the website, which that doesn't necessarily mean that these are things that are going to be exploited or even can be. There's still other things that come into play with exploits like this, but 26 potential security vulnerabilities is still a massive amount, and it deserves to be addressed. To their credit, they sort of halfway addressed it with a security checkup that they tweeted about, in which they thanked the cybersecurity professional and VTuber Hitanio. I'm sorry, I have to pronounce that very slowly because of I vaguely understand how it's pronounced. I'm trying to learn Japanese, but I'm still not very good at it. So that that name's gonna hurt. I'm just gonna call you Neo. So, Neo allegedly reached out and did a full security write-up on the website. And according to Eggie, they used that and then fixed all of the vulnerabilities in the website, which, I'm going to be honest, I really, really do not trust that they did. This is the part where I fully and completely have lost all trust whatsoever in EggieWeggie's website and will not be signing up for it. And I do not think that any other creator should sign up for this website either. That's just my personal opinion, but here's why. Here is the write-up from Neo, the self-proclaimed exploit hunter VTuber. I'm not going to read the full thing, but I'm going to read you a couple of sentences from it, and then I'm going to show you why I do not trust this write-up and why I do not trust Eggie and why I do not trust Neo. So, some of the sentences from it. What I did was review the site, the code, the behavior, the super-base usage, the core's header concerns, and the difference between what was actually exploitable versus what was general hardening. And I want to be clear about something. The biggest issues I found and helped fix were not the kind of things you catch by posting a few Zap screenshots and calling it a day. They were deeper code review findings, access control logic, super-base RLS behavior, editor manager permission flows, public media kit rendering, stored link hardening, and how private file links were being generated. And there was one more down here. So the useful work here was not panic posting scanner output. It was sitting down, understanding the architecture, separating real risk from noise, and giving Eggie the fixes she could actually apply. So why don't I trust that? For those of you who bother to keep up with AI, this kind of sounds like it was generated by an AI. This write-up, at first glance, has a lot of hallmarks of an LLM. The first part here where I read out, starting with what I did was review the site, you notice how it's notice how it puts these in order of the length of the actual statement being made. Site, code, behavior, super-base usage, core's header concerns, difference between what was actually exploitable versus what was general hardening. Biggest issue, I want to be clear about something, and then the colon, and then the biggest issues I found, deeper review findings has similar stuff. This has a flavor of AI to it, implying that it was written by an AI. Well, it was. This entire tweet from top to bottom is entirely AI generated. In fact, it's so AI generated you could probably reverse engineer the prompt that was used to generate it out of this. And that is why I don't trust Eggie or Neo, because actual people came to Eggie with concerns over the security of the website because it was vibe coded. Those are valid concerns to have. The response from Eggie blocked me for pointing out the cloud use early on since she wasn't upfront initially with how much of it was used. I guess cloud is more important than the security of people's data. The actual people who discovered these exploits were blocked by Eggie, and no mention of their name was ever made. Instead, Eggie reached out to an independent third party, and that independent third party made a write-up using AI of claiming what they did to review the website and its code. Entirely 100% AI generated write-up. I cannot in good faith trust that Eggie actually did anything that they said they did to fix the security of this website. I cannot trust this website because of all of the things Eggie and the person that they have reached out to, Neo, have already provably done just by what we see right here in public on Twitter. I'm not saying definitely do not use this website. If you are going to, though, you need to be aware that there are more than 24 potential security vulnerabilities in this website, which might not have been fixed at all in any capacity. And even if they were probably fixed using Claude, which may have introduced more security vulnerabilities that are currently unknown. Real actual people with real actual concerns reached out. Eggie blocked them and then went with somebody who uses AI to write their tweets, to do a quote-unquote security review. I do not trust this website, and if you were to ask me my personal opinion on the matter, which you are going to do because this is my YouTube video, not yours, if you were to ask me my personal opinion on the matter, I don't think you should trust the Creator Hub made by EggieWeggie either. I do not trust that the security is up to date. I don't trust that your information is secure, and I don't trust what might happen to your information while it is in the hands of this website. And I don't think you should be trusting it either, not at the current moment in time anyway. So that's basically everything that I wanted to talk about regarding this website. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are around the globe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.